All right, guys. Oh, let's see. Let's do it this way. Let's do it that way. Let's do it this way. We're doing it all the ways. We're doing all the ways. That. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am advertising the stream as fast. Thank you, Emma. Thank you. I'm trying to advertise the stream as fast as I possibly can. So everyone that is coming in, since it's on a topic, I honestly like live streams on a topic. Honestly, it just it works better for me. And I'll kind of get into that, but as always, when it's a topic, we'll wait until the 10-minute mark. So if you're rewatching the stream, please feel free to fast forward to the 10-minute mark. It also gives me the chance to advertise the stream. So we are going.
It's me versus me.
Hello, Julie. So this one's a little bit different. Yes, I am going to keep this live up, and I want to remind everyone this is still PG-13 plus ish. Like we're going to have mature adult conversations, but it's it's not going to be it's going to be more of just like talking. Thank you, Maddie. Actually, the story time, I've not worn eyeliner in forever because my lashes are usually full and luscious, and it actually kind of ruins your lashes if you get lash extensions. But while I was in Kansas, a lot of them fell out. So I was like, I was worried that if I didn't wear eyeliner, it just wasn't going to look good. So thank you, because I was kind of worried about how my eye makeup was going to look tonight. So I definitely appreciate it. But yes, I am going to keep this live up. Essentially, how this has had happened is I asked YouTube community on here. I didn't really get any questions, but Instagram, it blew up. And now this is not a stream that is centered around Black men. Okay. There were a few questions here and there, but overall, this is just a regular it's just basically any questions that you guys have about me dating. And also there's been a lot of more questions now that I've been sharing about my relationship a little bit more. There's been more questions, and so I figured this would be a good live stream to do it. You guys can also ask questions in the chat as the stream goes on, but I figured it'd be better for us to start off as a lot of people have the same questions. Look, that's not happening again. That stream has been private. Look, I feel like this account, I'm really good at structure, routine, rules, black and white things. And this account, because it's a personal account, was just kind of open. And so anything could go. And it's just taken me a little bit to kind of like find my way with it. Hello, Charlie. Hello. Oh, thank you. Yeah. But and I'm getting my eyelashes redone. They've almost all, I mean, not all of them, but I would say about 70% of my lashes have fallen out. And so I'm getting them redone on Tuesday anyway. So I was like, even if I wear eyeliner and makes more fall out, it's really not a big deal. So welcome, everyone. As always, we're going to wait till the 10-minute mark. So if you're rewatching this or you want to go get you some beverage, popcorn, feel free. We're just gonna have a good old time. I got home yesterday, which is always bittersweet. I already it's really hard, especially because I was there for almost 2 weeks. I just got used to him being around, and now I'm like, hello, Stephanie. Welcome, guys. All right, let me focus and advertise the stream. Ashley's going to be coming in after dinner. So I know. So. Were you wanting a boy or girl? I'm not gonna judge you either way. Yes, Amber. Yes, yes. I love that. I figured honestly, I was like, I didn't know if I wanted to do the stream like right after getting back home, but I was like, nah, we are just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. Yeah, that makes sense. I think after a balance, like obviously, like um I did have a preference, but I kept having boys back to back, back to back, back to back. Yeah, Emma, do you have a name? Welcome, everyone. We will start the stream around the 10-minute mark. Again, this is going to be just a juicy dating Q&A. I've gotten a lot of questions from Instagram, all of those things. But you can also ask questions as the stream goes on. We'll start around the 10-minute mark. I just want to make sure, I just want to go ahead and advertise it for those who kind of want to be a part of it. Emma, for a second, I thought that you were having a girl, and I know you just said a boy, but I was like, what? And then, yeah. Hey, I actually like I like the name Henry a lot. Hello, Zero. Welcome to everyone that is coming. If you are new to our YouTube channel, feel free to hit that red subscribe button. I try to do live streams every Friday night on here. The only exception is going to be next Friday night because I will be doing a live stream on our landing crew instead, because I try to do a live stream on that channel once a month, and your girl has been really slacking over really like, but the holidays are coming up. The holidays are coming up. So if you're coming over, no, you aren't the only man here. Guys do pop in, but usually they keep quiet because there are more like moms and women here, and it will be fine. It will be fine. All right. Let's see. Women like to chat. Yes. Okay, live right now on, hang on. Steffi Joe for a juicy live stream answering questions on dating and my current relationship. Honestly, I'm used to it. Like at first I was so surprised, not that I was surprised that there's racism still, but I was so surprised how many people gave an F about who I was dating. Like when I started sharing it, it really wasn't to like upset people or be controversial. I thought it was just like a cute little thing on social media, and it apparently was not. It apparently was not. And so now I'm just used to it. And sometimes I'm like, you know, let's see. All right. Paste. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Oh, fudge. Yes, I will give this is a PG-13 plus platform. So, and I use the plus because sometimes we will discuss things. This is not OF. Like this this isn't that type of live stream. This is just kind of getting to know each other. I didn't go through all of the Instagram questions, but I did go through some, and some of them were too much, and I won't be really talking about them, but some of them were kind of on a line of mature, but not over the top. And I'm a very open person, but as I've explained before, like, I want to make sure whatever I'm putting online, this is something that I'm okay with my kids, all of my kids knowing as they get older and things like that. Um, Welcome everyone. We are at the 10-minute mark. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. So as soon as I'm done sharing it everywhere, we will get started. Basically, this is just going to be a fun time. Feel free to grab you a drink. It does not have to be alcoholic. This is basically a different type of live stream. It's on a topic. We're going to be talking about dating questions and relationship, and my relationship I'm in right now. As the more I've been kind of sharing it a little bit more, um, the more questions I'm getting. Now I did a Q&A where I recorded it specifically about interracial dating. There were a few interracial questions that I will like address quickly, but overall, this is not specifically about interracial dating. This is just about dating. This is just about dating. So we are going to get on it. And as I already have a lot of the questions, but I figured it'd be fun to do it on the live stream because you guys can then ask questions as things go on, or what have you. All right, so we've got that. We are doing it. We are doing it. Just for anyone that wants to come hang out with us. Yeah. There we go. Welcome. All right, so we are going to, I think I'm good. I think I'm good other than Twitter. I know, I'm so sorry. And guys, can we're okay, right here. I went and got my hair done today and I was like, oh, I won't have to do it before stream. And then part of it, like a little bit straight. Hey, I chose moderate. Okay. I chose moderate. Look, your girl still has to make a buck. Okay. I still have to make a buck. All right. Let's do it right there. Is there anywhere else I need to post it? No, Instagram, TikTok. Okay. All right. And that is okay. I would feel the same. I would feel the same. All right. So, welcome guys. Welcome. As I said, this is just specifically going to be more about my dating, as there's some questions about that, but also specifically about my relationship. There's been a lot of questions, and I kind of broke them down into basic questions. So these are just kind of like factual things, and then people kind of wanted to know my opinions on things or how I feel about XYZ. And I think that's why sometimes on here, like I will talk about something and I think an ad happens or something, because then people will come in later on and then like comment on it. And I'm like, we've already talked about this. Yeah, because I was just like, oh, or I think maybe some people came in late. So, all right, guys, we are going to get with it. We're going to get with it. Welcome everyone. And just again, before we get started, guys, this is PG-13, PG-13 plus is what I meant to say. Again, we should all be adults here. Please be an adult here. But we aren't getting explicit or crazy. This is just mature conversation. Obviously, with the subject of dating and relationships, it can go into a more like mature area, but we're gonna not go too far into it. All right, so let's see. You get what I'm saying in the moment. All right. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so we're going to just kind of start off with just the basic questions. This is a big question I get. And for those who are new and don't know and all of those things, I was married for 18 years. We split up in the summer of 2022. So a lot of people that come over that ask questions, they're asking questions because I started my social media career journey, whatever you want to call it, when I was very married and I was actively having children. So a lot of people know about that aspect specifically, but we have been split up for over 3 years now, and we have been divorced for a year and a half legally, kind of thing. So people ask, when did I start dating after the divorce? This is a very, very common question. And I started dating about 14 months after after I filed. Now, we were supposed to honestly be divorced within months after leaving, but and we aren't going to get too far into that, but for those who followed us know that my ex did not show up to court, and then we were having to reset a court date, but the court date, it fell during a time that my son got very, very sick, and so it kind of postponed everything. And so that's why I say we've been split up. We have been split up. um Hello, Chris. So I started dating about 14 months. So we split up in, like, I filed in the beginning of August of 2022. I kind of had a connection with someone in October of 2023. And after that, that kind of just made me want to be like, okay, I'm ready. I think I'm ready to start actually dating. Like, I don't want to be alone forever. I forgot just how nice it was to be in the company of a man that, like, I really enjoyed their company and all of that. So I was like, okay, I'll start dating. It took me a couple of months from that point before I was actually like ready to start dating. But that's kind of when it all happened, which leads us into the next question, which is, how did I meet my boyfriend? So we actually met on Facebook dating. For those who do not know, he lives in South Texas. He travels for work. He works in the oil industry. These are common questions. So he travels for work a lot, and he travels more in the Central America, which is closer to me than Houston. So he was in Denver for work, and we connected on Facebook dating. Um, and we met we met like online in November of 2023, so almost 2 years ago, but we didn't actually start like really talking and pursuing anything until April of 2024. So about 6 months later is when things kind of like unraveled and things. I started dating the pilot because everyone kind of, if you've been around for a hot second, you kind of know the soccer pilot story. I started like dating him in December, so a month after I met um, my now boyfriend. So yeah, we met on Facebook dating. We were asked how long we've been together. We've been together for almost a year and a half ish. And we are, he is older. So he is, I'm still doing that story time. I go back and forth which story time I want to do first. If I want to do the whying Lonnie and I split up story time, or if I want to do the pilot story time. I think I want to do the pilot story time. I think I want to. So he is 15 years older than me. So he is 54. I am 39. I've like usually when I've dated, I usually date older. That's just kind of how it goes for me specifically. And then I get asked how far apart we are in distance. So again, he lives in Houston. I live in Colorado Springs. It's about a 14 to 15-hour drive. Usually, if I'm going to go see him in Houston, most times I do fly instead of drive, but I have driven a few times. I have family down there and things like that. And so, yeah, so we are like, but he does like, since he's been working since the beginning of July. It's been Oklahoma City, Kansas, and then he's about to be sent to New Mexico. So it's like a lot closer, a lot closer. Yeah, 15 hours. But like Oklahoma City was like 8 to 9 hours. Kansas was 7 to 8 hours. Like he's slowly getting closer. And this next place, this next assignment he's getting, it is going to be 7 hours. 7 hours. I don't mind driving. I don't mind driving. Yeah, that isn't happening here, Amber. But I've actually heard about that. I'm on a long distance group on Facebook, and that happens a lot. Happens a lot. Oh, the other question that is asked a lot is, has he met the kids? And no. I always say like it is 100% logistics. Just usually when we are meeting up, we're meeting up in a town that we both don't live in, or I'm in Houston. And so it just hasn't worked out for him to meet the children, and not for any other reason. I have a 6-month rule, and around 6 months, I could tell that this was a pretty solid thing. And so I would have definitely allowed him to meet the children without a doubt. And he also wanted to wait 6 months as well, which was a green flag to me that he was thinking of my children and things. But it just hasn't worked out. And I'm glad, because I feel like it's been really nice for us to work on our own relationship and building that our own foundation with each other before adding in kids. Because for those who don't know, I have 4 autistic children. And so merging all of that is going to be a little bit different, because he is a little bit older and he does not have anyone in his life that is autistic. He has done a lot of research, and love that for him. But still, it is when you're adding in children and everyday life, it's just going to be different. So I'm glad that we have had that foundation. Oh yeah, all of my children know about him. And that's the thing. It's like all of them know about him. Like all of them know what his name is. They know what he looks like. Like it's not a thing. Like my older kids ask about him all of the time. My younger kids know. My 6-year-old knows. My 6-year-old knows. Like when she sees him calling me, she'll be like, "Mom, XYZ's calling you." And so she knows. So it's not like he's a secret in any way. And I have slowly integrated him into our lives for this reason, so that if he does get an assignment, or he is able to come out here, that it isn't like there's this weird, strange man that they didn't even know about, kind of thing. So all of my kids know about him. It's just, they just haven't physically met him yet. I don't count that, Ashley. Okay. The other common question was, what is the hardest and best part about long distance? The I swear I'm not trying to be funny. I am not trying to be funny at all when I say this, but the hardest part about long distance is the distance. And specifically, trying when you have conflicts, you have to have a lot better communication skills. You have to work through it. If you have had any type of trauma with cheating or mistrust in the past, Like it triggers all of that. It triggers all of that. And so yeah, it like, and then there are sometimes it is the distance. It is like you physically just want to be close to someone. I always say for us at least, the first 6 to 9 months were the hardest. Were absolutely 100% the hardest. And yes, absolutely. I FaceTime when he's there. Like when people call us when we're next to each other now, we just we just put them on speakerphone and things like that. Like it isn't, and that's why I say like when I say he hasn't met the kids, it's not because I don't want him to. It's not because I don't think it's a solid thing. It's not for any other reason other than it just hasn't happened. Like it just he needs to have an assignment that's closer in order for it to make sense. Like I'm not about to take all of my autistic kids out to some place in Kansas or Oklahoma just for us to say that he met them and meet that milestone. We have definitely allowed this relationship to progress at a slow but consistent and steady rate, which I feel has been healthy and has worked for us. And we haven't rushed anything. Everything that's happened has just happened naturally, and I love that. But I see him like I like last year I saw him a lot more, but it wasn't for as long periods. So now I see him about every 4 to 6 weeks, and I see him for about one to 2 weeks now. That's kind of where we're at. And the best part about long distance is it also strengthens a lot. Like I feel like it takes a lot of what I call blind trust. Like you just blind trust. Um but and also like I mean it can also be like you miss each other, and if you have busy lifestyles, like he works a lot, I work a lot, I've got a lot, I've got a lot going on, and so I feel like having a long distance relationship has helped me um not be codependent and also be independent while being in a relationship at the same time. And so I feel like that's kind of where things are at. Is it's allowed all of that to happen. Um Absolutely. I think that I talk about the pilot specifically because we were like seeing each other for about 4 or 5 months, and it was getting close to the 6 month mark. And he had mentioned meeting the the kids a few times, and I was like, no, you're not meeting my kid. Like it just was like, and not because I thought he was a bad person, but I was just like, I didn't feel like it was progressing. I didn't feel like it was going towards something that was appropriate for him to miss for him to meet them. And I feel like specifically, um, that's the thing. It's not just about that 6 month mark. It's about are things progressing towards a long term relationship. Um, what was more difficult, explaining LJ's potential timeline or the amount of younger kids with higher needs? Do you know? I did it so it happened so naturally, and so LJ's was harder, and that's because that takes a lot of emotional vulnerability, and I went through almost all of LJ's stuff alone without really having much emotional support other than my friends, and so I kind of it caused me to be independent and not really be be able to lean on other people emotionally. And so that was harder for me to open up because that's a really like that's still something that's really like hard for me. So that was harder. With the kids it was easier because like we would just naturally talk about things, and he fought when we were just talking even before we met in person, he had actually followed our channel and watched some of our stuff, and so some of the stuff he already knew, and then he also must have researched because at points in times, and he doesn't have anyone in his life that's autistic or anything like that. And so there were points in our relationship where he would say things about autism that he could only know if he researched it. And so, yeah. um, So, okay. So yeah, those are kind of it. Okay, so we're going to go the guys, I really have not looked at these questions. Hang on. Let me make sure no one asked anything on um let me make sure no one asked anything on community on here, and I don't think they did. Because honestly, a lot of the followers on here followed me for lifestyle content, which this is clearly way different than lifestyle content. Um oh goodness. Let's see. Oh, I did get quite a few, not questions, but comments about how happy you guys are for me. And thank you so much. Like, genuinely, thank you for those sweet, sweet comments. Love it. It's nice that other people can see how happier I am. Thank you, Casey. Thank you. Thank you. So cute. All right. So we are going to go. Is it okay? Welcome, guys. We are doing juicy questions about dating and my specific relationship. Do you know Instagram is always a different breed? So we're about to just kind of see how things are on here. All right. Nope. We're gonna just okay. We're just going to go down the line. Okay. So this question was biggest green flags in a partner. And I feel like this varies from partner to partner. I think it depends on what you're looking for. Um, for me, it's effort and consistency. Like those are things or things that consider me and really like I'm always the most impressed with my boyfriend when I realize that he watches the little things he's learned me. Like he's learned me as a person and that really means a lot and that's really helped us a lot in our relationship specifically. I really need someone that shows up consistent and shows effort. And I love that. Like, I think that those are things that it is. Yeah, like a sense of humor is definitely, and I don't think that that's a green flag. I think that's just something that I enjoy. But for me, it's just the type of partner I need. Like I want someone who's more dominant in their masculine energy in a healthy way. And so I want someone that kind of steps into that. But for some people that might be too much. I found that people who were in like controlling relationships or abusive relationships, that when someone is too that usually a dominant partner isn't a good fit for them. They need more someone that is more submissive in that sense. And like for me, I can't have what they call a golden retriever partner where they're just nice and so I wouldn't believe them because of my own history of my ex. Like I wouldn't like I would think that they are love bombing and the fact is that not everyone that's sweet and nice to you is love bombing you, but for me, that would be a red flag, but for some, that would be a green flag. um, that's it. Juicy but not spicy. I like that a lot. Yeah, you do have to have a compatible sense of humor because I didn't find Lonnie funny, but his girlfriend finds him so hilarious, and I love that for them. And like my boyfriend, I think he's the funniest man on earth. Yeah. Yeah, I always say it's healthy dominance, not like you're like it and it is a balance and everyone has to kind of decide what is good for them and not. But yeah. Um someone asked Okay, so this is a little bit. You ever dated a man and early in the dating you wanted to have before he did? No, that's never happened. It's always been for me. Um, And it kind of depends on compatibility, but it's important. And I think this is another question, but it's important to be compatible in the bedroom as well. So if you have someone who has a high drive and someone that has a low drive, that's going to create someone being very frustrated and then someone feeling very like bombarded. Bombarded is a good word. But so for me, it's important to have these conversations, especially if it's someone that I'm really interested in. I'm like, yeah, the chemistry's there, the connection, we seem compatible. Like, let's just kind of like I can see this going somewhere. I think it's good to have those conversations before it even becomes a thing. Because I think in person, when they're new, excited, it gets a little bit awkward. But I've never been the one to want to. I honestly would be very concerned if I was wanting to pursue um spicy. It would feel bombarded, Zero. Can you I like if you're someone that is just doesn't have a high drive and you have someone who does and they're constantly like wanting to do stuff like you aren't going to want to do that. Like I've always found that you need to it needs to be compatible in some way. Compatible in some way. Wow. 8 months. That could never be me. Harley said, and this is interracial, but it's important. I wish they would ask that on this. The important part of an interracial relationship is the parents. Are they cool with it? So this is twofold. Yes, the important part is the parent, but at the same time, you can have a parent that necessarily maybe doesn't believe in interracial dating. Um, Racist, and you can still have a relationship with them if that person is willing to basically cut them off. And for those who don't know my story, that was one of the reasons that my dad and I were just not. It was not working, as he was racist, and I had a biracial daughter, and I tried to balance it, but it just wasn't working, and I wasn't going to continually put her and her dad's family in that situation specifically. So I feel like it is important. I think it's also it depends. Like some people really strongly like rely on how their parents feel, especially if they're younger. For me, like if my family didn't agree with something I did, cool. Like I don't care. Like I'm still gonna do me, and I wouldn't put my partner in a situation where that were to happen. Like my boyfriend and I, because we've been together for almost a year and a half, and my dad just passed in January. I always knew like I would never like introduce like I hadn't seen my father in 17 years from the point that he got sick and passed, and so I never had any plans of like my boyfriend meeting my father, even though they both are from Houston, because I was like, I'm not going to put my boyfriend in that situation. He was aware that my dad's racist. He was aware of it all. um Was your ex-husband the only white man you were with? So no. So there were a few guys I dated in high school, and they were all white. And then I had gotten with my daughter's father. He's black, and we broke up before I even knew I was pregnant. And then I started dating my ex-husband that was white. From that point on, yes, he was the only white guy that I dated per se. There was an ex during that period before my daughter's father that I kind of recycled for about 8, 9 months, but it didn't work out or anything. But as far as like new individuals and things, from that point on, when we were separated, I was dating, they were all black. They were all black. Um, it bothers me that there even has to be a word like interracial dating. I think it's just a way to describe dating and different reasons, because even though we are human beings, I think it's important for us to understand that our culture as white people, because white people can be many things, like we can come from many different areas in the world, is going to be different than the culture and experience and history of a black person. And while we might want to be like, well, we're all humans, and that's true, it's important not to negate the experiences that black men and black women have had to go through, and those things can and will impact dating, being in a relationship, and having children. Like those are things, as much as we don't want those things to impact it, it definitely can and will. um Yeah, and I think it's like one of those things. Like I get a lot of the comments. Oh, I don't see race. I don't blah blah blah. And I understand the idea of it, and I get it. But at the same time, like racism is here, and so there is definitely an experience of it. And so I think it's important that while we're just like, I don't date off of race. I date off of personality, character. I feel like I've said this so many times. But at the end of the day, when I'm dating a black man, and I am, um, his experience and his history and how he grew up is different than how I did. And a lot of that does have to do with race and culture. A lot of it does. And I think it's important for us to understand that, and also respect it and learn it, as uncomfortable as that is. Like I've had some things happen with my boyfriend. I'm not gonna share, but like I've had things happen that I'm just like, what is wrong with people? And he shared things that I'm just like, that's absolutely like so sad and crazy. Yeah. And I like, from both sides, a black man dating a white woman is going to get certain amount of hate and pressure as a black man is. Like it's not just us white women that people are like, oh no, no, it is a thing for them too. um Okay, this question is basically like how serious my boyfriend and I are, and I don't know how to answer that other than like we're in a full blown relationship. I would never say, "Oh, I'm dating so and so." Like we're in a relationship. I'm driving across the country to see him. We're in a relationship. We have surpassed dating. Okay, this is actually a really good conversation. What was interracial dating like 10 to 20 years age compared to now? And I will say for me, I think it's different because social media um is more prominent now. And so I I don't think it's changed much, if I'm being honest. In person, people really don't say things. People don't say things. Um, but online, people will say a lot because they have that freedom. I do remember when my ex and I were we're separated, and while there were a few guys I was seeing and dating, or whatever you want to call it, I wasn't like in a committed relationship with anyone. And so I had went on the dating sites and a dating app or something. I forget what app it was. I think it was Okay Cupid. I think it was Okay Cupid. And I mean, guys, this was like in 2008, 2009. Like this was a while ago, and I just, at that point, I had realized that I had a preference for black guys. Like every guy that I'd seen or been with was in fact black. And so I was just like, okay, we'll just kind of keep to that, because I haven't really had much luck, um much luck dating other races. So we'll just do, and I put that in my profile, that I was only interested in dating black guys. Now I would never limit myself like that, but I was in my early 20s. Yeah, it really upset a lot of white men. Bad. Bad. Like, I mean, so bad. And I wasn't trying to insult anyone. I was just trying to save everyone some time. Like, I was just trying to save everyone some time. I honestly haven't encountered only like one real racist in person. It's all online because online people say whatever they want. Oh, zero. I was just like, in my head, I was just like, do you know what? This seems to be the best route. Yeah, like I'm like just kind of thing. No, I wouldn't do that because I don't like necessarily like I wouldn't be like, oh, I just want to be with black guys. But I mean, I just in my head, I was like, it seems to be more successful with black men. I like how black men treat me better. You were 8. Okay. This was a question. Does your man friend ever drive to see you so you're not doing all the driving? And this question has been asked a lot because obviously I'm always posting about me going to see him. And the best way I can explain this is it's his job, guys. Like I go to see him when he's working and he's on a job assignment. And so it just isn't realistic for him to come see me and it just isn't possible, and I understand that. I am not bothered by it. I never think anything weird about it. um I mean, he works Monday through Saturday, sometimes Sunday too. And so him being able to come see me just wouldn't work out. It would be nice if he ever got a closer assignment, but he can't control the assignments. Like I've been asked that, um like, can he choose to be closer? No. I mean, he has in the preference that he has a preference for Colorado and Utah, but we've been together for almost a year and a half and he hasn't gone one of those. I told him he needs to remove the preference. I was like, at this point, I think they're just playing with you. I think they're just playing with you. Um, so yeah. Um, and yeah, because Ashley's 25, I'm 39. Um, so it does not bother me that I have to drive to go see him. That's just kind of what it is, and it's work. It's not like he's going on vacation and choosing to go to Oklahoma. I don't know who would vacation to Oklahoma, but choosing to vacation to Oklahoma and so Colorado or something. So it doesn't bother me. It's just I have a job that travels with me, and I have more freedom. Will he get days off so he can ever go on a vacation somewhere? I mean, he could eventually, or like work it out. But honestly, right now, like a vacation just doesn't work for either of us. Like it just isn't a thing. But in the future, yes. In the future, yes. I feel like we're both just like like I can't take off that time for a vacation specifically because like I wouldn't be able to work on a vacation. Right now, they're sending him assignment after assignment after assignment. So at this point in time, that's just kind of where it is. Once he starts his own business, it might be a little bit different, but we don't know when that's going to happen. And currently, I'm really trying to work hard and realign my budget to be able to buy a house. Like the next house I live in, I want to buy. So I'm making that my focus as well. So I feel like we're both focusing on things that just kind of does it. What is your favorite place you have been to while visiting him? El Paso is my favorite. El Paso is my favorite. Oklahoma City wasn't that bad. The shopping was good in Oklahoma City, but it was ghetto. It was ghetto. Oh my god, it was ghetto. Does he have African descent? No, he's white. um, yeah, it was There was a Crackle Barrel like right by us, right by us. But yeah, El Paso, I liked it because it was like a big enough city. It had good shopping, had good restaurants. I liked the hotel he stayed in. I really like this. I will tell you this last hotel we stayed in Kansas was my favorite hotel we've ever had, but the location and the shopping was in it. So that was kind of I know your boyfriend travels a lot, but where is he based? He's based out of Houston. Houston is where he's from, which ironically is where I'm originally from too. Ask him. Ask him, be like, are you of African descent? Um, sometimes I'm like, these questions that are asked, I'm like, did you guys just start following? Like, did you not go through my account yet? They said, have you ever been with a black guy before? First off, I've got a biracial daughter. Second, I don't post him. Like I do like soft launches where it's like half of his face or like his hand or something. But that's just out of respect for him. But clearly he's black. Clearly he's black. um, Powerman asked, how often should married couples have again? I think this is where I was thinking of the like drive. Like this is going to be a question different for everyone. And I think this shouldn't change just because you're married. Now, sometimes what happens is if you get married very quickly, then it might change this answer. But like, I don't think that just because you have like a paper document, suddenly it should change how much you have intimacy. But for some people, the physical intimacy is really important. For other people, it is not like, and so you have to, I feel like it's important to find someone who can balance with you on that, because as I said, you're either going to have someone who's going to just feel like, for people who are that the physical intimacy is really important to them, and if that part isn't, usually physical touch is their love language, and so if they're not able to get that, they are going to feel neglected in some way. And then if you have someone that's not important, it's a low drive, like whatever reason, like everyone has a different system. Everyone has a different system. Um, then they're just, if you're constantly trying to initiate that with them, they're going to feel bombarded. They're going to feel overwhelmed. Then they're going to feel like you just want them for their body, even if that's not where you're thinking specifically. Some people find physical intimacy a way to connect with each other, and so it's not, it can't, and I'm not saying that some people don't just want it for that, but like for a lot of people that I know that it's important to them, it's a way of connecting. And so I definitely think it is so important. It is so important because there's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of like, I feel like, and I think what really happens is when two people get together, even if someone has a lower drive, they might present as someone that has like a moderate drive at first, and that might be because of the excitement, or it might be because it's a newer relationship and maybe they're afraid to express this. But I think that's why it's so important to have these open and honest conversations about this. Like there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, it's not something I need on a regular basis, it's not how I connect in this way, versus someone being like, no, it's really important. And you can usually tell, you can usually tell when it's something that's important to someone versus when it's not. um Absolutely. um it is, I feel like when people, like I feel like this is a conversation that should be had. 100%. And you know if you are a high drive, a moderate drive, or a low drive person, like you just know. Yeah, it's absolutely something that should be worked on. this other question. We just aren't answering it. Feral It was asking me what the smallest white I've ever had. I'm like, we aren't we aren't doing all that. We're okay, guys. I think we made it through all the questions. So feel free to ask any more that you guys have. Mm-mm. But yeah, I felt like those were good questions specifically. I know. I was like, I don't know that I'm actually going to answer. Like, we aren't having that because once I open up those floodgates, it just doesn't go. It just doesn't go how I want it to be. Exactly, Maddie. Exactly. Well, and at 1 hour, I'm going to go live on TikTok. Not that I can be a lot more explicit on there, but a whole lot more than I am here. There definitely are. It's okay. Well, you'd know all the answers, so I don't know that you could ask anything that you wouldn't know the answer to. Girl, I've looked at some cute pregnant people. I was not one of them. Okay, I feel like the cutest I was probably maybe with Lex because I started off at my lowest weight with him. But Penelope, I was blown up. I was just like my face, like, and Liam, I only gained like 1 pound with Liam because I started the pregnancy off overweight already. But Lex, like, I look back and I was like, yeah, I was cute with him. Like, it wasn't so bad with him. Mm. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, hang on, I'm trying to see. I have a whole like photo album on Facebook because I had just started social media when I got I cannot believe he's about to be 10, but I had just started. Just started. Hang on, I'll show you guys some. I mean, I guess I was kind of cute with her, like my face was just really, really puffy. Really, really puffy. My maternity photo shoot, this was, like, right before this was, like, literally, like, 3 weeks before I no? It was, like, a few weeks before I had her, but, I mean, my face, like, was so puffy because I didn't realize that I had preeclampsia. Okay, but can we look at little Liam? Can we look at little Liam? Like, look at that. Look at that. Yeah, there were some I was cute with, and honestly, I think some of it was, like, with my 3 fur I was too broke to be cute. Like, I was, like, with Danielle, I was a teen mom, and I was in Texas. She was born at the end of August, like, August 20th, and so being super pregnant, I was wearing my sister's winter maternity clothes because she lived in Oklahoma because I couldn't afford maternity clothes. So some of it is just like the resources you have available. Yeah, that's so funny. Let me see. Yeah, I was cute with Lex. Like, look at that. He's so cute. Like, God, I'm so glad I'm never gonna be pregnant again. But yeah, like I mean, I looked alright with him. I really don't give a lot into the NWO, but I also don't know it. Like, I don't know enough of it. Like, I don't look at it as a way. I just end up with black men usually when I'm dating, and my current man's black. So, and he definitely does not give into the BNWO. There's I don't talk a lot about him specifically, like his views and stuff, but that man does not have a prejudiced bone in his body. Like, he doesn't look at like certain races as a certain way. Like, he doesn't. Because he's like, I've had good and bad experiences with all race. He's like, I've had bad experiences with black people. Like, uh, this is cute though. Like, look at that. Look at that. This was insane. Oh my god, this was literally 10 years ago. 10, yeah, and 10 years ago yesterday. So I was getting ready to pop with him. Oh my god. Ah, I mean, like, I was all belly with him. Hey, hang on. This was the day. This was 4 days. This was 4 days before he was born. Look at that belly, guys. I mean, it doesn't even look real. And it's funny because the shirt I'm wearing, it says says "Let me out." And then this was the day I was going to get induced. This was the day before he was born, but I was going to get induced. Like, I mean, he was that face is so scary though, because I'm like, I was so miserable. I kept going to because I was his due date. Um, his due date was November 19th, and this was November 23rd. So I was like 40 and a half weeks. And I was like over it. I like it. I like it. Like, obviously, I enjoy being a girl mom too, but that's just because like my oldest was a girl, and then I didn't have a girl again for, I mean, they're 15 years apart. But I enjoy being a boy's mom. Like, it's fun. I like it. Do I have any yes, Yes, I really do. I really do. Hang on. And LJ. I have very little pictures pregnant with. All right, we're just gonna do it. Look at Danielle, guys. Look how cute she was. She was so cute. Okay, are you guys ready? I don't think I've ever showed this. I will show this. When I do Lonnie and I's like why we split up and stuff, I don't want it to seem like our marriage was the worst thing ever because there were plenty of moments where Lonnie and I were in fact happy. Look at us. He looks so much like LJ, but he doesn't at the same but he does. It's so weird. I know I was like Danielle was literally 4 months old. So I was 18. I know. His smile, everything. Yeah. All right. This was my body. Obviously, I've had these done. Um um but this this was my body before I had children. It doesn't look like that anymore. It doesn't look like that anymore. Yeah, it is a cute photo. I think those are the things I really want to show because like I don't yeah, like look, November 28, 2004. I was so young. Oh, I was pregnant, LJ, but you can hardly see that one. Okay, so these are the ones where I was pregnant with Danielle. I mean, yes, you have to remember it was 2004, so like our like we didn't have a, but yeah, I was like I was 33 weeks pregnant with her in that. Don't ask me how I remember how many weeks I was, okay? Okay? But I remember. Because so basically what happened was Lonnie's mom had sent us it was like a big camera, but it was a camera and so we could take pictures and send them to her and things like that still. This was right before I had her. Like right before. And what's crazy is you guys see that little palm tree? Lonnie had painted that on to our dining room wall. He's actually an artist. Look at that. Me and Danielle. She's so cute. I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna save this for her. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this. And it is okay, guys. That photo was taken when I was like 17, so I'm okay with it. Like with my body not looking like that anymore. Yeah, she isn't in the videos because she don't live here anymore. And I don't do vlogs hardly ever anyway. So look, I mean, look at that. See, I want to save these and use this in the video because I don't want it to paint like I don't want to seem like I was literally the most unhappy person ever for 18 years. When it was good with Lonnie and I, it was great. But when it was bad, it was traumatic and horrible. And so you just like that's just kind of how it was. And there's Danielle and her dad. I think that was no, that wasn't when he first saw her. That was later on. Yeah. I think that's the difference. And the best way I can explain it is like everyone it was like everyone was being told the ending of a story. And it was a big chunk of the ending of the story, but not realizing that like how things were before kind of thing. So it literally seemed like I just got tired of him one day and was like, I'm done with this, and then I'm claiming abuse. Like that's how it seemed. But that's not. Oh my god. Was that Danielle? Hang on. No, this was LJ. This was when I was pregnant. Oh my god, I was so skinny. I was so skinny. So skinny. That was LJ. That was when I was pregnant with him. There was not okay. So Daniel, I was a junior in high school, and Danielle's dad was a freshman in college. So I was 17 and he was 18 when we got together. He was almost 19. He was almost 19, but still technically 18. So there wasn't a big age gap. And I remember when so after she was born and all of that, and we did the paternity test and everything, because he didn't know me from Adam. So me saying you're the father like meant nothing to him, understandably. And I don't judge him for that at all, like at all. Because we hardly knew each other. And girls can claim that all the time, right? Especially young girls. And so we did the paternity test. It showed that he was the father. We went to court. And I remember, and it wasn't court. It was like mediation, because he asked. He's like, "Will you give her my last name?" And I said, "Yeah." And so everything we were both very mature about it, especially given the fact that we weren't very old at all. But I remember him asking the mediator when she was basically wanting to know our age. He's like, "Am I going to be in trouble?" The dude's like barely 19. Like barely 19. No, at this point in time, he was 20, but she was asking, and I was 17 and he was 18, and she's like, no. Because the age of consent in Texas is 17. So, and I mean, even so, like we were so close in age, it wasn't a thing. We met through AOL. I know. I was a church girl 100%. Well, how far along do you think? In the picture with LJ, I was 11 weeks. I don't know how I remember these things, but I showed earlier with him because I mean, I got pregnant with Lonnie Jr. when Danielle was 5 months old. So, no, yeah, he was really like um So this is only funny because if you guys know, like I had to tell my dad when Danielle was 4 months old that Danielle was half black, which is crazy because this is her newborn photo. Does this look like a baby that Lonnie and I would reproduce? Like, come on, come on. Oh, I tried for LJ. LJ was intentional. LJ was 100% on purpose. Like 100%. This is so much fun, though. This is fun showing you guys. Oh, look, guys. This is me and Danielle at my graduation. So cute. I'm not showing this to you guys. I'll send this to Ashley. I look so young. I look so young, this should be illegal. Oh my god. Oh my god. Too much. Yeah, like, yeah, I actually have a lot. It's all in my photo bucket, though. Yeah, I have a lot of Danielle. That was Lonnie and Danielle. Okay, this one I was definitely pregnant with LJ, and I was 11 weeks in this one, I think. This All right, so this was when I just had Daniel. I think I've shown this one before, like when I showed her dad's story. Yeah, yeah. Danielle had a lot. Like she had a whole lot. This was when I before I got pregnant with Danielle. I was 16. I was 16 in this one. Just so crazy. Like it looks like me, but like super younger. Who is this? Who is this? This was LJ. This was his ultra this ultrasound picture. And his ultrasound picture. Hmm. Yeah, a lot of these are I'm trying to find ones that are like Yeah, she is my oldest. She's the one that just turned 21. Okay, so this was when I got big with LJ. Like, I mean, like, and he was a smaller baby. Like, he really, really was. He's like 7 pounds 3 ounces. Yeah, 7 pounds 3 ounces. 37. I was humongous with him. Yeah. I was induced with all of my kids. Um, the longest one I went pregnant with was Lex, and he was like 40 weeks and 4 days. So this is my dad and Danielle. It's so cute. And I know, guys, look, I didn't actually start really learning how to do her hair until she was like 3, okay? 3 or 4. Danielle and LJ. Look at them. Look at them. They're so cute. I so Danielle, I was 39 weeks. I was like 39 and a half weeks with her. It was a few days. Her due date was August 24th, and I had her on August. I was induced on August 19th, had her on August 20th. Um, Lonnie Jr., I was young, guys. I was just like, I didn't want to be, his due date was December 29th, and I had him on December 13th because I like pushed to be induced because he was my first biological child between Lonnie and I. And Lonnie was a big baby. I was a small baby though, and we didn't really know what to expect. And so I was basically he was induced out of the idea that he was gonna, and I was showing a lot with him. Like, I mean, I was big, I was big with him. And so they thought he was gonna be bigger. He wasn't. Like, he should have stayed in for quite a longer time to bake. And during this point was when 37 weeks was considered full term. Now 39 weeks is considered full term. And unless there's a medical reason, you can't be induced before the 39-week mark. Yeah, he was an '05 baby. And um and then Noah was like a week. He was exactly 39 weeks. He was due in September, but I had him on August 31st. Um so it was easier. Yeah, LJ's he's about to be 20. He's about to be 20. But yeah, and so Lex was I was 40 and a half weeks with Lex. Um and um Liam, I was 39 weeks, and he was tiny. He was tiny, tiny, like itty bitty. Um Noah was big though. He was 8 pounds, 1 ounce. And then Liam was little. And then Liam was like 7 pounds, 1 ounce. But he was at the 39-week mark. But I think it's because Liam took more after me, and I was a small baby. So, and then Penelope that girl was like 8.5 pounds. She was big. She was big, but I think that's because I was retaining a lot of water, because she lost a lot of weight right after birth. I'm so glad I had a C-section with her. Yeah, she was big. I don't think my JJ would appreciate that. Yes, and Amber, learning to do your daughter's hair is such a big deal, and I feel like it's something that is not talked about a lot. And I honestly didn't think of it because I was not trying to get pregnant. Like, literally, her dad and I, guys, we hooked up one time. One time is what it took, and I got pregnant. I got pregnant. And so I didn't think about those things. I didn't those aren't things, but those are really important things to understand, though, if you are deciding to be with a Black man as a as a white woman and have a family. Like, Danielle has and I think it's because I naturally have curly hair too, and so combined with her father being Black, she just got like very, very tight curls, and that was a thing. Or you glad you had your kids early? Yeah, I mean, as far as earlier in life, yes. I do wish that mm, there were a few, like, I wish I would have had Lex earlier on, but I was really like, oh, I want to go in labor naturally. Yeah, it wasn't happening. You just got Pitocin. Yeah. With Lex, they try to do like Cervidil, or I don't remember what it's called, but it's like where they yeah, it didn't do anything. As far as LJ and Belle, that is up to them to discuss. She has a YouTube channel in here, the Belle Jolie, that you guys can go check out. And that's their choice to like share and not share. I don't feel comfortable sharing that stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like, it wasn't like, sometimes you'll see moms that look amazing, and then they'll have like children, and their children look like they've never had their hair. I didn't look amazing. I didn't look amazing either. I had naturally curly hair, and I didn't know how to do I didn't know how to do I didn't know how to do my hair either. Yeah, I honestly, I don't want to. I mean, not that I'm going to have any more kids, but I definitely don't want to have a C-section. Lions like Hey, Bree thinks he's funny though. Okay, Bree thinks. I think most people would think my boyfriend is hilarious, and I honestly would love to get him on a live stream. I'm kind of warming him up to it, but it would like I'm really it would have to be on this channel and not our landing crew. Same girl, same the same ones. I was like, no, no, he's not funny. As far as LJ and Belle, if they're gonna share what they're gonna do with kids and not do, like that is not my choice to share. That's their choice to share like things like that. That's so personal. Mhm. No, I'm not about that. Oh, guys, do you wanna see the guy that I burnt down his car when I was 15? He was, like, 19, I wanna say, and he let me drive his car, and I didn't know I've never driven before, and I told him that. He's like, "Well, you're gonna learn how to drive today." And where I lived, like, you had to go down a hill, and then you had to turn, and I'd never driven before, and I didn't know, and I did great on the highway because it's, like, the highway, and it was, like, at 4 in the morning, and I'd snuck out, and so, um, he let me I was 15, and, I went to go pull into my apartment, and I didn't know how to drive, I didn't know how to drive. Anyway, your girl ran over a fire hydrant and hit a pole in front of a gas station, but I had not hit that pole, I woulda hit a gas pump, and the car would have blown up. And anyway, on the way it totaled his car, it totaled his car, and on the way to the pound, it caught on fire. But this is what he looked like. I don't know why this is my photo bucket. I mean, I guess I do. Like there's the repercussions were nothing because it was right by my apartment. He was 19, I was 15. He told me to go to the apartment. And can you believe he didn't want to date me? Although he did try to date me after that. But then he was trying to get some of my stuff and I was like, Nah. I thought he was cute, but look at Danielle. Look at her. I've got to find some pictures of me doing her hair. Okay, so this is how I started to do her hair. I started to do like pigtails and stuff with with like bows when she was younger. She was like 18 months in that. No, we're talking about some old guy. He's not old, but like it was when I was 15. This was my profile picture of Lonnie and I for like such a long time. I was pregnant with LJ in this. I let his mom cut my hair. It wasn't a good haircut. LJ and Danielle. They were so cute. Okay, so this is when I started to like learn how to do her hair more and more. This was her this was her second birthday. And so I pulled her hair up back. I could do it better now, but I was young, okay? And so I pulled her hair back a little like a ponytail and then I put little butterfly clips. Oh no, it is girl, hang on. Kathleen, I don't think you were in here when I showed the picture of Lonnie and I. And that's why, like, guys, that was my natural red hair. I mean, everything changed. Like, I remember specific times, like, during when anytime we had to call the ambulance, like, Kathleen would automatically just go around like, literally, like, obviously, I wasn't paying attention to it, but, like, it would be time to leave, and she already had, like, a bag packed for for us. For those who don't know, Kathleen in the chat, she is our respite provider. Um, the best way to explain it is like she's like a special needs nanny. But I mean, as far as like things that I mean, I was like during those 6 to 7 months that LJ was I was gone so much. Like, and even when I was home, I wasn't present. Like I was like the best way I can explain it is every day I woke up like, and I'm not trying to be dramatic when I say this, but every day all I could think was like, we need to keep him alive. Like that was my entire thought process. Yeah, so when my ex and I got together, I was already pregnant with my daughter. Like I just didn't know I was pregnant yet. Like I just didn't know. Danielle was so cute though. It's why I keep my photo bucket. Oh, look, Lonnie is gaming. That's Lonnie's mom, by the way. Oh my god. But he's gaming in that. Um, you know what? We started calling him LJ when Belle, his fiance, started calling him LJ. That was when like I always wanted to call him LJ, and he was like, no, like it honestly it helps me because and I still call him Lonnie too. Like I still call him Lonnie. I usually call him LJ when I'm talking about talking to other people about him. I started using the LJ a lot when I was telling people updates and stuff because it would get confusing. Like when he got sick. Yeah, I was in such a fog. Like and it took me a really long I feel like even now like I'm still like it's a process and I think people just don't understand like when you go through something like that. And not only was I going through my son being sick, but I just left my ex of 18 years. Like there was 2022 to 2024 were just really hard years. Yeah, like you just it's like you want him to live, you wanted him to live, but in the same time, you also had to prepare that and I mean, even now it's still like that, but thankfully he's doing good. No, he's okay with us calling him LJ now because I don't call him LJ. I don't I don't say, "Hey, LJ." Like, I call him Lonnie when I see him. Ju just ask it, Parker, just ask it. But yeah. Oh, wait. Questions are how you learn. Hang on, let me send these photos to Danielle. She was so cute. She was so cute. It really does, like, when people tell you how fast it really does go by so fast. Because 'cause I'm like, "How is that girl freaking 21?" Or, yeah, how is she 21? Hang on, guys, my laptop. Okay, we're just gonna have to go with it's not gonna be as bright, guys. You aren't gonna be able to see me as well, but it's okay. Okay, I know you have 4 autistic kids. Why did you keep having that's after Lex's diagnosed? So the best and easiest way, I have a video on our landing crew explaining this, but essentially what had happened was Noah was diagnosed with my 18-year-old diagnosed with autism, but we were told that he had chromosomal abnormalities, and that is essentially how he got autism. They didn't test anyone, they didn't think it was a thing, and so before I started having more kids, because there's an 8-year gap between my third and fourth child, so between that gap, I went to see a geneticist that was like, hey, the chances of this happening again is very low because my two oldest were not autistic. So we just kind of assumed it was what they call a fluke, essentially. Like sometimes you can have a bunch of kids and only one's autistic or one has a certain thing. And that's kind of what I assumed had happened. And that's what they had assumed had happened. Lex, he honestly met almost, I remember like he would bring me books to read when he was one. Like he had a few things, like a few sensory things. But I mean, and even now, like if you meet him, unless you know about autism and neurodivergence, you're not going to really like see the autism essentially. And that was kind of the case with Lex as well. And we didn't he was meeting all of his milestones that you kind of need to meet. And it wasn't until he was it wasn't until I think it was like his 18-year checkup, but he was like 22 months old. Um, that's when the doctor told us that he was showing some red flags for autism, and we should go ahead and like get him assessed through early intervention or something. But I was already pregnant. I was already pregnant with Liam at this point. I was already pregnant. And so, yeah, and Liam was actually supposed to be our last child, but Penelope, she came in with a bang. She was like, yeah, I want to be a part of this crazy family too. And so, um, it was just one of those things that kind of happened. I was on birth control after Liam. Um, their dad was supposed to be finding places to get a vasectomy, and I just got pregnant. I mean, it just happens sometimes. Birth control is not 100%. So that's essentially what happened. Was it wasn't intentional. And a lot of times when families end up with multiple autistic kids, that's what happens. It's not that we just keep trying and being like, well, try our luck with this one. Like it isn't a thing. And overall, like I don't look at autism as bad or anything. Like I knew by the time I was pregnant with my youngest, we had just found out that my my fifth child had the same chromosomal abnormalities as my third child. And so at that point, I was like, it's hereditary. It's hereditary. So I knew that the baby I was pregnant with, that there was a very, very, very strong chance that she or he, because we didn't know the gender at that point, could end up with disabilities. And that was just kind of how it was. Um, Absolutely, 100%. No, it didn't say it's a common question. It is a common question of, like, why and how did this happen? Um, no, I don't think anyone's trying to judge you. Like, I don't feel like I haven't seen any comment that to, was intended to be judgmental. Like, it's a very, 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 very common question. Like, so I make multiple videos about it. I think that you ask in the most, like, polite way polite way possible. Yeah, I think it's just that people think it's like, um yeah. I think it's just a common misconception that people just have one autistic child and then they're going to try again and again and again and again. But then there's also the conversation that for some parents that doesn't bother them, that they they don't care. The reason that we were making sure that we went to a geneticist wasn't about autism specifically. And Noah's presentation, my third child, but my first child that was diagnosed with autism, his presentation to autism was a little bit more tricky because he did have a lot more behaviors that we were concerned about. And during this time, I didn't realize, like, in my head, I thought if you had a bunch of autistic kids, they would present the same. Like, that's really how I thought. So, and it just was a thing. So I don't think anyone was trying to be that way, and I think the point was that, like, no, like, you can, like, have nothing going on that you know of. Like, you can just randomly have a child that has disability. So if you aren't ready to step up to that plate, and I'm not saying you aren't, but that's the idea, is that anything can happen. Yeah, I don't like, believe me, I can usually tell when people are making comments tongue in cheek or being sarcastic or being rude or trying to be judgy. And I usually check them because I think it's important to ask these questions, because if you don't know about it, how would you know? Like, if you don't already know, how are you going to know? And I think it's important to ask those, because if not, like, that's how you're going to learn. Noah was left in ABA out of all of the children, like, all of the kids we removed, and that's because we saw a benefit with ABA with Noah. ABA, actually, I know it's controversial, but it really helped Noah. It really helped him. Noah is doing amazing. He is thriving. I am so, so, so proud of him. And I think that's the important thing, is that you can have multiple autistic children and they're going to need different supports, therapies, and help, if that makes sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get off of here. I'm probably gonna go stream on TikTok. Um, no, Liam and Penelope were taken out of ABA at the same time. Lex, I think, was taken out because of school. That whole time was a blur. But it was like right during after LJ had gotten his lung transplant, but Liam and Penelope were taken out of it at the same time. Nothing happened besides it just got annoying, if I'm being honest, and we weren't seeing a benefit. Like there was like the turnover rate with ABA is just so much, and it was just so much. Um, yeah, like there would just wasn't a benefit for it. Like we were just kind of like, I mean, for years, our house was like a therapy home and it was a revolving door and it just didn't seem to be benefiting her anymore. Like, I honestly don't ever see me putting Liam and Penelope ever back in ABA. And even Lex, like Lex is doing very, very well. Noah was in a different type of ABA and he needed it for different reasons. Noah, and he talks about this, so I feel okay with saying it, but he had a lot of behaviors, a lot of big behaviors that needed to be addressed for safety for him, for everyone around him, and as he got older, and he's doing amazing now. We haven't seen any of those behaviors in years, so he is doing so good. Yeah, like they did so much and helped so much, but for Liam and Nellie, we just weren't either. It just didn't seem to be doing anything, or it was more of annoyance than a help. Like, and so it was right after Liam is like part of it. Kathleen's my girlfriend. I'm kidding. I've had people ask that. No, she is our she's our respite provider. She's been with her family for like 3.5 years. 3.5 years. People ask that all the time after Lonnie and I split if she was my girlfriend. But she was like, you have to understand, like, like during when LJ was sick, Lonnie and I, obviously, we were here and things like that, but we had to put a lot of our focus to LJ because of everything. So Kathleen, like, was able to step in. But okay, guys, I'm gonna go on TikTok. I love you all.